everybody! I'm doing a session for a client, so I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring a session with me, please come visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Okay, these are some really interesting goals. Thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you today, and thank you very much for sharing with others here on YouTube. I'm going to read your goals out loud, and then I'm going to get started. So you say, if you could connect to the asteroid that hit North Carolina and Venus, I would adore that. And Ophiuchus in the 13th house. Okay, so asteroid that hit North Carolina and Venus, and connect with Ophiuchus in the 13th house. Okay, I will tell you, I had no idea there was an asteroid that hit North Carolina or Venus. I'm like, I really need to get up with the times and pay attention to the news more. This is very interesting. Okay, I'm still tapping into this here. It's getting deeper. It's there's a deep hush, like the silent forest in a dark night where you can't see the stars. But there's something moving about it. I'm going to go to the vibration of the asteroid that hit North Carolina, okay? Maybe it's the same asteroid that maybe it had some pieces that hit Venus, or it's a separate asteroid. We'll start with the vibration of the asteroid that hit North Carolina and see where that takes us. So I'm going to do this in 3 separate parts. I see you crying, and I see your heart, it's upside down, and I see you rocking in a chair. There's no fear, there's just emotions right now. And in the sound of the rocking and the crying, you access a silent message, okay? But you can't actually translate it, and this is upsetting you. And you need the energy of the asteroid that hit North Carolina in order to access or translate the message. You need it. It's like this energy of this asteroid will help you, assist you with translating this message. So I take the asteroid and I turn it into a body, okay? And then I have the body sit down here with you. Ooh. This body, believe it or not, is, well, it emanates a greenish color, and it's spiky, and there's some yellow dots like flakes of some kind. It feels unhealthy to me. Vibrationally, it does. It feels unhealthy. And so let's see what comes next, okay? It's just sitting here as this emanation. And you stop for a minute, and I'm talking to you about poison that kills mice. And I talk to you about arsenic, and I talk to you about lethal poisons. And I'm showing you that this asteroid vibrationally is emanating a lethal poison, a toxicity, toxic energy. Is it possible that where you felt the asteroid was there to help you, you had it backward? you were there to help the spirit of the asteroid, because that asteroid needs some nurture. But let's see where this goes, okay? You're actually a little startled and surprised. You're not crying, but you're very intrigued by this. And you want to take in this sick human being and then nurse. I mean, it's emanating as a body, like a human shape. That's what I did. I turned the asteroid vibration into what is a body so that we could have a conversation with it that suits our human minds, okay? And you're seeing it now as a human being that needs to be healed, and you are holding its hand without judgment of itself, without judgment at all. And you are bringing in this sick human being, and you are lying it on a table like a masseuse type table, like a Reiki healing table, something like this. You're laying it on this being on the table in order to start healing it. What you find challenging is how do you heal it? Because it is so toxic. Now, what it radiates in its toxicity that you aren't sure how to heal is actually now making you sick. As you become sicker, it's harder, even harder for you to heal this being that is now depleting yourself. And you do quite a few interesting things, and it has to do with herbal medicines. And there's also some, I guess, tribal type energies that you emit. And I see you waving really massive leaves and sort of fanning this being as though these leaves are to protect your energy from its energy. And then it fans the energy as in sort of like to move the element of air around it and then to move it away from you both, move it away from it and move it away from you. And I say, what if its being is simply toxic? Like, you can't take the mouse poison and just, it's like you just have to let it go. Like some things, like how you take the arsenic out of arsenic, you know? You just let it be arsenic. Oh, you're thinking about this. You actually feel like this is really an important idea. So how do you take the cancer out of cancer? How do you take the arsenic out of arsenic? And I get these images of like an imploding energy, like here we have cancer, and then how do you take cancer out of cancer, and it just implodes inside of itself and disappears entirely. And you're really wrapping your head around this idea. So how do you take the asteroid out of the asteroid? How do you take its essence out of itself, which is of its own essence? How do you do it? You show me your sacral chakra energy, and you show me that it has like lumps and bumps, okay? And it's very achy. It aches. It doesn't, I don't know if this is connected or just a side conversation, but let's just go with this and see where it takes us. And so I touch one of these lumps here, and it's kind of like the female womb and just touching a lump inside the womb. And it's got different images. One is that it breaks instantly and then it releases a sorrow, okay? Another is that it just neutralizes and disappears. Another is it actually breaks and turns into a black, like powdery substance. And there's, let's just say 30 in here. And what's interesting is you're asking me what to do, but I actually feel like you know what to do. So I send it back that you know what to do. What do you feel like you should be doing here with this? You trust in yourself. Trust yourself in this one. And you start, basically you visualize numbers on the different lumps and bumps and then you start connecting lines between them. Then you pull out, you know what this reminds me of? You guys remember, it's like a kid's game with the string, and it's like cats in the cradle, and you have the string wrapped around your fingers in different ways, and you do this with a friend, and they kind of move it, and then it turns into a different shape with the string, and then you pull this string and this string, and then it turns into a different shape, and you go back and forth until it becomes a big mess. So nobody knows what to do anymore. But I think it actually, you can get it into like a broom or something after a few turns. That was like a pretty exciting one if you could get it into a broom. Anyway, this is very much so like once you connect the dots, you actually take your energy hand and you put it into the connections, and then you pull the connections, and it just pulls. It's like it's pulling all this energy substance. It's just pulling everything out as though it never existed. It just pulls it entirely out, and then it just vanishes completely, like it had never existed. And I say, okay, so you can do that. All right. So, I mean, I'm saying, like, tell me more. What is this? What does this mean to you? Are you excited about this? Is this good? What does this have to do with this asteroid in North Carolina? Tell me. So I'm just like, all these questions. Okay, let's see what you say. You say there is an instinct, an intuition, and then there is, I guess, the human consciousness, where it's like you kind of show me yourself phasing into a state where you're, I guess, your complete channel for something beyond yourself, and you're not using your conscious mind in order to do anything, but you're instinctively in a movement or emotion through the activation of some higher energy, your highest self, something of this kind. So everything is still right now, as you are basically, you're active and inactive at the same time. Your consciousness is inactive, so you're not at the forefront of your thoughts. You're actually in a silent meditative state, and you're just allowing, okay? You're just allowing. And it's like you're practicing allowing. And you're waiting for the allowing to, I guess, I don't want to say activate, because I feel activate's already happened. Put forth a motion that is new. Put forth a new motion, a new movement, a new action. And you seem to trust in this enough that it is your being to be this way. And you want to be more of this way, which is more true to your highest nature, your highest self. And you don't want to explain any more about what you did with the numbers and the pulling out of, because you want to work more with not explaining things, like work less with this conscious mind that needs to speak it out and like write it down, number 1, number 2, number 3, write it down, write it out like a textbook explanation. You just want to be the action of the intuitive state as a pure channel for some higher energy that is also yourself and your true nature. That's what you're expressing. And I give you a high five. Because on the side, it's like, well, I can't say anything else then, since you don't want to say anything. No sense in it. Let's just high five. Maybe you needed to show me the lumps and the bumps so we could just go through this process, so it could just cycle through in this session. Now you receive it, and it gives you just access to another angle. Okay, I don't want to say too much, because she's basically saying She's in that state right now, and there's no conversation right now. Okay. And she's rising above the asteroid in North Carolina. She doesn't care one way or another about the toxicity. It has completely neutral response about that. I show her images like, but it's poisonous. It's gonna hurt the planet. It's gonna seep into the water system. It's gonna kill people. You don't care about it, you know. So I'm just asking these, like, sending out these signals to see if I can get a response. But she's pretty firmly neutral, which is just, I'm just testing her stance. That's all. She shows me that she knows what is guiding her is her path. And her path is no longer intertwined with that energy. And whether someone else's path is intended for that, or nobody's path, that is for the highest good of all. She legit is stating this. So for me to try to send these ideas like, oh, you better help, oh, it's going to hurt people, I'm basically challenging her to get into her conscious mind and then feel confused as to her path. And she's not in her conscious mind, and she's not confused about her path, and she knows her path has nothing to do with that at this time. Okay. So she's firm. I mean, she's solid with it. She's grounded with this state of being. We're totally rising up, rising up, rising up, rising up, rising up like a helium balloon. Very peacefully. No rush. You sing a song, and it's your own song, your own words, and it has something to do with, I love to live. I love to live. I love to live. It's very cheesy sounding, okay? Very cheesy. It's almost like it could be a really happy song for like Sunday school kids at church, but it kind of misses the beat because there's something cheesy about it, but kids love it. And it's about loving to live. And it's like there's clapping and a tambourine, and we're all going back and forth because we love to live, you know? So it's really working that kind of vibe there. And you're singing it. I love to live. And now you're kind of, I don't know, you're doing this like low to the ground jingle with your body. Like you're getting that low to the ground, and you're like jingling your body, like shaking it, although like shaking it. You're like, you're a maraca, right? They have the like the sand in that little ball thing. It's like you're doing this, okay? It's funny. You're getting happier, you're getting brighter, you're getting sillier. You're turning into a ball of light, and you're getting funnier, really funny. And now you're circulating, okay? And you're circulating clockwise, all right? And you're a sphere of light, and you're also circulating clockwise, okay, around yourself, okay? From literally, just there's like an energy that goes around the rim of the sphere. Like vertically instead of horizontally. Continuing to rise, continuing to rise, continuing to rise. And you're dancing and you're singing some more. And you see yourself back on earth, and you shed a tear for this you. And she receives the tear. And in the tear is what you're looking for. That in this tear, you know, okay, you know. And she echoes the scene with the lumps and the bumps, that you know what to do. 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 Believe in yourself. You know what to do. And she's kind of saying, like a higher self speaking to you, that it's almost like we put our hearts out to receive meaningful connections in the most unusual places with the most unusual people. And that asteroid emanating itself as this toxic energy, either A, it really is, or B, its consciousness is wanting you to see it in this way to learn something, okay? So it's kind of like taking candy from a stranger. That could have one of two outcomes. You get the candy and have a great day, or the stranger pulls you into the car and takes you somewhere. I mean, we have the fork at the road. So life is like this. You find your candy in the asteroid that hits North Carolina, only to find out that it was actually the candy that pulls you into the car. It wasn't really what you were looking for. But your highest self is saying, I'm what you're looking for. You have what you were looking for. I just shared it with you. So that's what she's saying, okay? All right. You have two selves now, the earth you and then this higher self you. And she's mid-range, you're earth, and then it feels like there could be another you way up even higher, right? But I'm looking at the gap, and everything from this highest self is very like known. There's no question, because she's in this alternative zone of action and on the path intuitively without question and without waver. Completely grounded in the knowing, okay? It seems like you channel this side of your energy into yourself as a human being, and you want to tap into it more. And you're doing it. You are doing it. Kind of asking me, so, okay. It's like this. You're kind of evaluating yourself and how you perceive the asteroid North Carolina as a sign or as a good phenomenon that has a lot of meaning to your soul. Now, if I go to that energy and actually feel it out for what it is, I'll see it like this, right? But you're wanting to know how I see it like this, and then you see it as kind of a sign or like a profound phenomenon, a good thing. So why don't I go into what you're picking up on as this asteroid represents a sign for you, okay? Why don't I go into that vibration instead of the vibration of the asteroid itself? Okay. I get a odd feeling. Because I went into the asteroid itself and because I felt that poisonous energy, you feeling like this is a sign is telling me that you're desperate. You're desperate for a sign. You'll take any kind of sign. You'll take anything and translate it into a good thing, even if it's not. I'm just gonna look into this a little bit more, okay? And then we're gonna go to the Venus asteroid. You're already like, yay! You're not upset about any of this. Okay, so let's see what you and your relationship with a sign or a good thing, what that means, okay? See the asteroid as a good sign. Let's see what comes forward now. Believe it or not, it's another unexpected message. And you want to find a happy place. And you want a good sign because that good sign represents the happy place where you want to be. And again, you want that. Is it desperation? Is it normal to want? Or is it okay to just let life be as life is? And now I hear, I love to live. I love to live. Yay, tambourine, we're having fun. That's your higher self saying that. I love to live. And it's kind of like You got it. You got what it takes. Don't look out there for the answer that you have already inside yourself. She's saying that, okay? All right, let's go check out the asteroid and Venus, okay? I can't wait to see what comes next. All right. This is so different. Maybe it's the vibrational attraction that took the asteroid to Earth versus took the asteroid to Venus, whether they're of the same asteroid or they're two different ones, vibrationally totally different experiences. It's like mom and dad have a baby, then they have a second child. This one is good and this one's a total tyrant, but they came from the same mom and dad. How could they be so different? You know? So they're totally different energies. Okay. I find this to be more, I feel like there's a lot of information, a lot of, okay, so when I tap into that vibration, it's like I managed to crack the coconut, and then inside there's all of this information juice, okay? And it's full of light, and it's very wonderful. It's liquidy, it's liquid light, and it's very tasty, it's very wonderful. And there's musical notes in it, and there's it basically there's balance. I mean, it represents balance. So anything that is seeking balance, it provides you the liquid light to help align it with the balance that which it already is, or it is seeking to becoming it now, but it definitely attracts balance, okay? Letting go of any insecurity, fear, desire that is on that extreme level of I need it. I need to have this in order to find peace. You know, I need to have this to be peaceful. You already have everything you need. I know that's hard. That's a hard place to be in, but the more you practice it, you can get there, you know. I love the energy of this asteroid because it is so full of wealth of information, wealth of energy, wealth of balance, wealth of so much to receive here. And it raises your vibration. What I love is we seek, okay, so there is like the sun that helps things to grow, is this Venus asteroid. And then there's this like toxicity, right? That's creating the suffering of Earth. And that's this North Carolina asteroid. And perhaps that's their messages. But you want to interact with both the decay and the creator, the creation energy and the decay energy. You want to interact with both. I see the fork in the road again. Two directions. One is you get the candy. The other is, oh crap, I get the candy and then now I'm in the car with some psychopaths. The decay versus the creation, right? The good and the bad. Your higher self that sings the song "I Love to Live" is really enjoying watching you sort through the meanings of these like there's layers of meanings here that you're sorting through. She really enjoys watching you sort through this. It's like organizing your sensations. Just getting organized with your sensations without conscious thought about it, but you're intuitively organizing your energy threads. It's just, I feel it. I feel you starting to hum again from a meditative place, and you're starting to align again with the higher self energy. And now the higher self is introducing you to the decay, the North Carolina asteroid, and the life bringer, the Venus asteroid. And it comes from, the decay is on the right side and the life bringer is on the left side. And they are mother and father. They are shared lovers. They are yin yang. They are life in balance. Life in balance. And you're like, whoa. You're starting to shimmy shake. The human is like vibrating with, wow, that feels really meaningful and good. I'm receiving that. I feel like this is the message as actually, I mean, that's what this whole thing is about, is the bigger picture, connecting the dots, like the lumps and the bumps, and you know, you connected the numbers and connected the dots, right? Then you pulled them all out, made it just disappear, and everything was in balance. It's just, you're kind of talking to me about how life is interesting. You start with one clue, and then you go to the next clue, and the next clue, and the next clue, and the next clue. And then you put all the clues together to like the piece of the puzzle, and then you start to create an interpretation. And there's so much to take away from an interpretation, more than just one. It can be many interpretations. And the way that all makes me feel, it's like all these colors moving through my body. I just smile because this is a I mean, it's just so genuine and sweet. It's the truth. All right. I'm going to go take a look at the next thing. Ophiuchus, 13th house. All right, I'm going to have to really disconnect here from right, left sides and life bringer, decay, all this. What is the connection between Venus and North Carolina? Now we know. Okay, trying to get away from all that stuff so we can start a fresh new sort of translation here of information. Okay. Very still, but still in motion. It's kind of like watching a mountain slowly from the plains to the mountains, right? It's like watching the plains become the mountains, or watching the mountains become the plains. It seems like there's stillness, but there's always life and motion, even when it appears to be still. There's an older gentleman, and he's got his back turned to me. And he's been in deep thought for a long time. And he shows me that there are peaks and there are valleys, and there are peaks and there are valleys. It starts to look like a monitor of a heartbeat, where it beats and then it doesn't beat, and then it beats and it doesn't beat. So there's peaks and there's valleys. It's starting to look like ocean waves. There's peaks and then there's valleys. So is life truly in motion, or is it standing still? If there are always peaks and valleys, is life actually in motion, or is it standing still? And he says something like, does life ever truly change? And it feels kind of sad to me, like not just a statement that gets you thinking, it feels sadder to me. And I feel energetic distance. I feel like slowing down. I feel that statement somehow made a very loud sound inside of me, and I am not in motion by choice. So I choose to be neither a valley or a peak, because there can only be a valley if there is a peak. So if there's no valleys and no peaks, there's just a flat line. Is that just forever the plains? I just choose to be still, which is to flatline. He gets a bit angry at me for doing that. I say, I represent change. So I could show you that there's always change. And his heart breaks and he cries. And he really cries. He's just very sad. I see a really strong boulder, and I see a hammer comes along like fate. Zeus's hammer, or I mean, if fate comes and just goes dink, and then the strong boulder just cracks into a million pieces and crumbles to the ground. And I see that this man represents having been a strong boulder where fate just hit it with the hammer. I mean, there's something silly about it, because I see Zeus, this mighty Zeus, and then I see this tiny little hammer goes to the big strong boulder and goes dink, and then it just crumbles to the ground. And he represents that. That's what he says. This isn't saying Ophiuchus in the 13th house, that this is the consciousness of Ophiuchus. This is what Ophiuchus is bringing forward for you to look at, okay? For you to interact with. You keep a distance from this, what is now a flat line, like a heartbeat that has no valley or peak and is a flat line, who represents change as well. Man, this is hard. It's kind of like makes you just feel uncomfortable. And it gets my mind moving back to the asteroids, North Carolina and Venus, and it gets me looking at something else. And that's part of the energy, okay? It's part of the energy. And I see you between two worlds, I don't want to call it a world or a reality or a universe, because it's two existences, two states of, is that life and death, the decay and the life bringer? Are you representing the asteroid of North Carolina and the asteroid of Venus? Are you also representing the right and left sides, the yin yang, the mother father? Man, it makes my eyes literally feel cold in kind of a nice way, like minty fresh. It's the weirdest feeling, but my eyes are actually feeling minty cool. And you say something like, having frostbite in your eyes, or having a staring contest in the middle of winter in a really cold day where the liquid turns to ice. And it's kind of like creating a lighthearted statement out of something that isn't maybe very pleasant, you know? Like trying to be lighthearted about something that isn't exactly pleasant. I hear the word stripped, and oh man, I see a fence that was once painted, and then I see you, and you show me like with a peeler, like you could peel a carrot with it, like you know, a kitchen utensil, a peeler, but it's a big massive peeler, and the paint is stripped. And you take the peeler to show me, and you peel off a big old strip of paint, which includes the wood. And you show me the fence is no longer painted. It's like the white picket fence. It's like kind of represents maybe the perfect life. You know, there's the house and the perfect fence that's painted white and everything's great in the neighborhood, you know. But then it's been peeled. It's been stripped, and it doesn't represent that anymore. And that comes with pain. It really comes with pain. It hurts. It really hurts. Hurts, you say. I'm going to take these two spheres with the Ophiuchus 13th house and everything we've seen about the asteroids, and I'm going to merge them into one body, okay? One body. Right and left sides, male and female. Okay. What's interesting is, did Zeus take the tiny hammer and crack the solid boulder that was this man? Or did the hammer crack you? Because he's showing himself as whole and standing. And you're instantly rebuilding yourself, and you're very happy, and you're exploring the mother and father of life creation, okay, and decay. You're exploring the mother, father of both sides. As yourself, the mother and father, as literally the child of it as well, born of it, now representing it in your life expression, in yourself, in your very DNA, as it, as that which holds the balance. So I go to the Venus asteroid and I say, when I experienced the balance that you shared, it's the balance we're all trying to attain that feels like it completely wipes away the decay side of things, as though that doesn't exist. As though there is no death, there is no decay, there is no aging, there is none of this. That's all just some illusion, because the only thing that's real is just the life force energy. When you express balance, I felt from that energy, it felt like that was the only thing that was real, was balance. Without the pain, without pain. But when I saw you and decay coming together in this way, and as lovers, as the yin yang, it's like within the creation is the decay, and within the decay is the creation. It's like the forest that burns down, it becomes the new forest, you know? The mountain that becomes the valley, you know, becomes the mountain, and the heart that beats. So what about the flat line? All right, let's see what comes next. Okay, the man, the strong boulder, okay? He starts to sing a song, and it comes from his heart, and it comes through sounds, and he beats a drum to the sound of his song. And shows me that the drum is really an important tool or symbol or expression of the heart that beats. And the drum needs to have the peaks and the valleys for it to be what it is, right? One beat of the drum feels way too short. So let's say we have 5 minutes of a continual drum beat, like even a deep sounding drum beat can be really effective. Like it can do something to you, you know, to be in that vibration. And it does it to you because there is the start and the stop and the start and the stop again. And it's part of the heartbeat, which isn't just constantly in a state of beating, which is flatlining, because it can't be in a constant state of beating, so then it wouldn't be beating at all, right? It has to have the separation. It has to have it in order for it to be in balance. It has to have the life and the death. It has to have it. It has to. And this is good. This is very good. And so you go back to the fence, and part of the white picket fence now being stripped is like the forest being burned down only to create the new forest. So the pain that it takes when the pain is stripped, right, reveals the magic of what comes next. That in order to get to that magic, the white picket fence had to be stripped. It had to be. It had to be. It had to be. There's no other way. It had to be stripped. Don't hold on to the stripping. There's something funny in that. I don't know. It seems kind of jokey, like strip tease. Like silly in that way. Like it has a silly other side. Because it's trying to be lighthearted about it. Like stripping can be like, we strip the paint off. We strip the bolt is stripped. It's useless. You know, it's just, we're kind of stuck in that moment of pain. But turning into something funny like, I don't know, don't hold on to the strip tease. I don't know. But it's just kind of creating a lightheartedness, you know, to help you know that it's safe to see the change. It's safe to see it and return to the beat that was always there. That was always there, the mountains and the peaks, the mountains and the valleys. No, the mountains and the valleys. All right, let's see what comes next. Is it going to be another church song with the tambourine? I want to hear it. Okay, let's see. I love to live. Yeah, you are circulating through the asteroid North Carolina, the asteroid Venus, and the 13th house Ophiuchus. And so you're circulating through these 3, okay? And you're working with a lot of your human self, which is part of being human, right? We work with our human self because we want to know what it's like to be human. So here we are. And you're working with your human self. And this higher self is just really enjoying watching you. Really enjoying it a lot. Really happy to see your state of discovery. You're going to wait now, and you go into a meditation, and you decide not to try to think or make sense of through thinking any further. You're just going to pause and then just absorb an awareness and see what that awareness is that comes to you. So you're doing that. Yeah. You say something under your breath about, but it is cheerfully said, about life isn't without challenge. Like life isn't without the pain. The North Carolina asteroid isn't without the Venus asteroid. It's like life isn't without death, you know, like the yin yang. And for me to find pain in what is the toxicity, there wasn't any toxicity. It's just me working through my relationship with what I decide is death, but isn't really death. And the Venus is teaching me to come into balance with the truth of life and the beat of life. And the clapping of the hands and the tambourine and the maracas and the church songs and the children. You feel very resurrected in and of yourself. You feel resurrected, yes. You feel renewed. You feel like a new self. You have a massive, your third eye is actually in the shape of a red heart. It is so cool. I mean, it is the most beautiful, richest, and it's got shape to it. It's not flat, like it's dimensional. Red heart is your third eye. It is so neat to see this. Not what I expected. You're basically rising up, and as I'm just admiring your third eye, you open your mouth and all these like bees come out, and they're kind of like bees that remind me of flies that are eating decayed things. And the bees are sting. The bees sting. The bees hurt. These aren't bees that are busy doing honey. They're bees that are attacking. And they also vibrationally feel like flies that are consuming the dead. And you release this out of you. And you say that there's going to be time for releasing of the discomfort, but also time for just enjoying life. And life isn't all about just the discomfort. It also is about the enjoyment. And okay, so you and I go back to the stripped fence and we're talking about repainting it. And there's still an unresolved here in your emotional gut and in your heart and also in your third eye about it. And because you don't know what color to paint it. And also you're uncomfortable about it, about doing it. I say, let's just pick a color, shall we? Just pick a color. Any color. What color? You say pink. And it's not, it's like a super intense, it's not a soft pink in it by any means. It's very intense pink. And it's like a hot pink, okay? It's really, I love this rich pink color. And you say, like heck with it, you know, society, we have to stick with these comfortable colors like red and blue and white, like cars on the road. You know what I'm talking about? Like all the cars on the road will be of the same color scheme, and then you have the odd one out, you know? And so all the fences and all the homes that are built will align with what are comfortable shades of gray, basically. We have to stick with the comfortable colors, okay? We can't do anything outside the box, you know? You get the odd one that like really is like, wow, that house really stands out. It's really expressing itself there. And so you're going to really express yourself with your new paint job on your fence, okay? And that's why you say, oh, heck with it, because, you know, heck with society and its need to stay in this comfortable gray setting. Like, I'm going to go for bright, hot pink, you know? And I say, yeah, that go for it. Turn some heads, you know? You start laughing and you say that, boy, this is fun. This is fun. And you show me that this is actually really cool. You're painting this fence, but what you're doing is you're gathering up gemstones, all different kinds of gemstones. And you bring children in and you create a really awesome community project. And it's literally to paint community fences, really beautiful, bright colors, and to decorate them with like a super glue. Like you're actually sticking the stones onto the fence and creating just designs with different gemstones and raising the vibration of the community and giving these children experiences that are helping them to thrive as everybody's literally having fun. And every car that drives past that hot pink fence is actually seeing it, and it's activated by that. And it's a gift. And this is what life is all about. This is what life is all about. Life, I love living life. Now you show me you're going to paint a fence green, like it's a really bright green as well. It's not on the yellow end, it's like a green. And it's really noticeably, it's the perfect shade of green. It's a really great shade of green. And you're doing this again, but this time instead of the gemstones, you're having the kids paint their idea of flowers and trees. And so everybody's given different colors. So there's like this green base, and then all the other colors are used for creating flowers and trees on the fence. The children are creating this. It's just wonderful to see this. And it's really fun. It's literally really fun. It's attracting the community. It's attracting attention, and people are noticing. People are appreciating this. And you say, this brings my heart to life. This action is good. This brings me to life. And you start to see how it's like after every bump in the road, right? There's kind of there can be a time for peace, right? So there's a time for the work, and then there's a time for the relaxation, you know? And the work can be hard to get through, but then if you can get through it to the other side, you reap the reward of who you are as this transformed person, and be able to enjoy this new breath. And this is also part of life, and this is life worth living. And you feel like the messages of the asteroids and Ophiuchus in the 13th house are all coming together into this wholeness for you, into this resurrected heartbeat, and this resurrected heartbeat in your third eye, and just joy. I mean, simply put, balance, joy, and the love of life. I mean, this is rich. This is a rich experience here. Okay. There is, again, it's like a silence, a comfortable silence. Like in the beginning, it was the silent forest in the dark where there's no stars. But this is more captivating. This is more twinkling. This is more of the details of Mother Nature. and feeling surrounded by the details of life that make it so pronounced and beautiful. And it's life worth living. I can hear the sound of the ocean waves. And they're like hands that are grabbing at the sand and pulling the sand into its own body. And I experience the tumbling of the sand and the smile upon the ocean as it enjoys doing this, moving the arms out and then pulling the hands in with little bits of sand. And then again, and it's very peaceful motion, very therapeutic. Very wonderful to feel. All right, that's everything. Thank you so much. What a gift. I really appreciate the opportunity. And thank you again for sharing. Everybody watching, thank you for watching from beginning to end here. Thank you for all your kind comments and support of my clients and YouTube channel. I hope you all have a very wonderful day.